A new Wordle puzzle is online. Click on the link to play.
Listening to the following video may give you clues. Please like and share the videos.
Texas Attorney General sues to block Biden administration from lifting Title 42. Attorney General Ken Paxton files lawsuit to block the Biden administration from lifting Title 42.
In the suit, Texas argues that the Biden administration did not consider all factors before terminating the order. The Biden administration has already come under fire for the COVID-19 orders, which include vaccination mandates and mask mandates.
But an increasing number of Democrats in Congress say the order did not prepare for a surge in border crossings. Attorney General Ken Paxton files lawsuit against Biden administration.
Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton has filed a lawsuit against the Biden administration over the upcoming sunset of Title 42, a law that allows federal agents to quickly deport migrants in the case of a public health emergency. The law was implemented by the Trump administration in March 2020 and has been used almost 2 million times to deport migrants.
However, this year, it is set to expire, and Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton filed an emergency motion to freeze the termination order, stating that the law should be extended until the end of June. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton filed a lawsuit against the Biden administration on Wednesday, arguing that the federal government violated the Administrative Procedure Act by deciding to lift Title 42.
The act governs federal policymaking, including public input. By removing Title 42, undocumented immigrants would increase their use of public benefits, putting state taxpayers at risk, says the lawsuit.
Title 42 has long been criticized for removing asylum seekers from dangerous countries, so ending the policy could only exacerbate the problem. The suit alleges that the Biden administration failed to consider all of the relevant factors before terminating Title 42.
It notes that the COVID-19 order, which requires illegal aliens to use face masks and vaccinations, will result in an additional 18,000 encounters each day if the policy is terminated. Attorney General Paxton is currently facing Land Commissioner George B.
Bush in a Republican primary runoff on May 24. Medicaid waiver.
After years of delay, the Texas Medicaid program is getting back on its feet. The state of Texas sued to block the Biden administration from lifting the waiver it had received in 2006.
The lawsuit argues that the Obama administration breached its contract with the Medicaid system by removing the 1115 Medicaid waiver extension. This waiver provided stable funding for healthcare providers and those with disabilities or the elderly.
Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton filed the lawsuit to reinstate the 1115 Medicaid waiver extension. The lawsuit argues that removing eligibility restrictions is an illegal violation of federal law, and that the new government policy will force Texas to adopt an inequitable program.
According to the lawsuit, the Biden administration did not follow the administrative procedure laws when terminating the Title 42 waiver. This will force Texas to fund social services for migrants who are living in the state.
Moreover, the lawsuit says the federal government should have taken into account all relevant factors before terminating the waiver. The lawsuit also cites the open border policies of the Biden administration and the confusing response to COVID-19.
COVID-19 vaccines. The Republican Attorney General of Texas, Ken Paxton, has filed a lawsuit against the Biden administration for terminating the authority to enforce Title 42, which allows federal agents to deport immigrants if they are found to have COVID-19.
The lawsuit, filed in U.S. District Court in the Southern District of Texas Victoria Division, challenges the timing of the order to end Title 42.
Originally, the authority to enforce the law was set to end on March 23, but President Joe Biden said the authority would expire on May 23. Texas has filed an emergency motion to block Biden's order to terminate the authority.
The new law comes as the Obama administration is considering a billion funding bill that does not include a change to the Title 42 policy. Democrats are opposing the move because the legislation doesn't contain enough amendments to ensure that the law is constitutional.
The newest legislation, called the Border Security Act, urges the administration to delay ending Title 42 until 60 days after the COVID-19 public health emergency ends. The new law is crucial to public health.
Title 42 orders are designed to protect American citizens from communicable diseases and are necessary for the prevention of disease outbreaks. The Biden administration is expected to lift the order shortly.
Since the order was issued, the number of COVID-19 cases has decreased dramatically, and vaccinations are widely available. This decision is crucial, because this policy has saved many lives in the United States.
CDC rule. In a court ruling, Texas has formally filed suit against the Biden administration to prevent the use of Title 42, a rule used by federal immigration agents to deport migrants.
Title 42 was enacted by the Trump administration in March 2020, and has been used to deport more than 1 million people. Many of these people have repeatedly tried to enter the U.S., and have been refused multiple times.
The CDC is the agency responsible for enforcing Title 42 orders, which restrict entry of foreign nationals in order to contain diseases and prevent their spread. The CDC is planning to remove the restrictions soon, but it is not yet clear when they will do so.
As of now, there is no evidence that COVID-19 rates have risen since 2014, and immunizations are widely available. However, if the Biden administration decides to remove the restrictions before the deadline on May 23, Texas may be forced to pay for the social services for illegal immigrants.
The Biden administration has made a series of disastrous decisions on the border. Attorney General King Paxton has sued the administration at every opportunity.
The end of Title 42 is likely to result in hundreds of thousands more illegal immigrants flooding Texas every month. But the revocation of Title 42 would be illegal under federal law, according to Paxton and his legal team.
The lawsuit also contradicts other orders signed during the pandemic era, such as the requirement of the COVID-19 vaccine for all border crossings. Vaccines.
A number of public health experts have called on the Biden administration to end the restrictions on Title 42 and begin to process asylum seekers who have been subjected to the immigrant ban. They argued that the policy is unnecessary and has no scientific basis as a public health measure.
The Biden administration has responded to these calls by lifting Title 42 and following the COVID-19 guidelines for asylum seekers. While many are skeptical about the Obama administration's decision, there are plenty of reasons to support a lifting of Title 42.
One of those reasons is a lingering question about the Biden administration's intentions for the border. While the Biden administration may be interested in reducing the numbers of migrants attempting to cross the border, it has to be noted that this approach is fraught with political dangers.
The current administration rates poorly in opinion polls, and a recent report indicated that arrests along the southern border will increase this year. If the government is successful in lifting Title 42, the Biden administration is likely to face greater political pressure from Republicans in midterm elections.
A second reason for lifting Title 42 on vaccines is that the CDC recognizes there is no public health reason to continue the policy. The Department of Homeland Security has a period of time to develop mitigation protocols for COVID-19 and scale up vaccination efforts.
This policy also deprived migrant children of the right to apply for asylum in the U.S., and the CDC is likely to follow that precedent.
Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The Biden administration has repeatedly called Title 42 a public health measure, but many have questioned the timing and metrics.
While the Obama administration said it would allow Americans to gather outdoors in small groups by July 4, it hasn't provided any legal or scientific analysis. But Texas isn't taking the Biden administration's word for it.
The state is suing the administration to stop it from lifting Title 42 and stopping the massive influx of migrants to its border. The lawsuit claims that the Biden administration failed to consider all relevant factors when deciding to repeal Title 42.
The suit claims that the administration did not take into account the fact that hundreds of thousands of illegal aliens would flood Texas every month if Title 42 is lifted. Texas sued independently of other states, Missouri and Arizona, to prevent the termination of Title 42.
The lawsuit has since grown to a coalition of 21 states. The lawsuit was filed by Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton, and aims to block the CDC from lifting the controversial Title 42 rule.
Title 42 is a federal law that empowers immigration officials to deport migrants in times of a public health emergency. Since its enactment by the Trump administration in March 2020, Title 42 has been used to deport more than 1 million people, many of whom have repeatedly sought entry into the U.S.